Hello, Scoot. It's lovely to meet you. So we're here to talk about your new film, Blood for Dust. For anyone who's not seen it, what's it about?
Blood for Dust is about a traveling salesman who's sort of has a little bit of a shady past, and he's down on his luck based on the economy and the circumstances that existed in Middle America or in all of America, and based on his prior um, endeavors with some of his employees, he takes a risk to dive into you know doing something that's totally fish out of water and out of his element, and to try and make some extra money. And I think that's sort of where the tailspin happens and sends us off onto the journey of working with Kit Harington and the escapade that they go on.
It is quite an escapade. Um, Now, there's quite a sort of Coen Brothers, Fargo type of feel to it. And you, of course, have appeared in the TV series of Fargo. So was that part of the appeal of this for you?
I think the absolutely. I mean, it did sort of have that Fargo-esque Coen Brothers. I mean, I don't think that that we were trying to, emulate that, but that cold feeling, that location where they're at, sort of the crime that they're involved in. Yeah, Noah Hawley has done a phenomenal job at stretching that movie out into these all these different series of televisions, and so I was really lucky to be a part of that. I think Noah Hawley is an exceptional writer, but for sure that absolutely had appeal to it. Just the landscape in Montana and the environment, the weather. And also, Rod Blackhurst is somebody who I'd been wanting to work with, and so we had sort of tossed around a couple different projects. So I was really excited to get this one off the ground, and I think Kit Harington coming on board was a huge key to it. And so it was just really great to work with him, and all in all, it was the project and the story that really attracted me to it.
Now, having watched the film, there is a perception that filmmaking is glamorous, and yet you're shooting in what is extreme cold. It's snowy. At one point, you end up with blood poured all over your face. Um, how do you find sort of filming in those sort of conditions?
Um, Personally, I love filming on location so much more than indoors or a soundstage. All those elements I think add to the production value, but also add to the performances. So I thoroughly enjoy uh, being on location, regardless of the weather. I always feel like it's that one thing that you don't have to perform because it kind of performs it for you.
You've got a terrific back catalogue of films, and you've worked with some astonishing directors. You worked with Tarantino, you've worked with David Fincher, Zack Snyder, Steve McQueen, and all of them are known to have their kind of idiosyncrasies. How did you find How did you find working with Rod Blackhurst and Blackhurst rather? And what's his kind of quirks?
That's a really great question. Look, they're all so different in so many different ways, but yet in so many ways they're also so much alike. Um, I find them all to be very collaborative. They are the puppet master, they are the storyteller, but they're all very interested in hearing what the actor's input is and the actor's ideas, and that is always, I feel like, makes for a recipe of a lot of fun at work, but also you get such great results when everybody's sort of collaborating a lot and working together.
Going back some years, before you even became an actor, I understand you were looking to become a cinematographer, DOP at one point. Now, you've mentioned this just now about the stunning landscapes, and they are stunningly shot. Um, Between takes, do you find yourself drawn to working with the camera crew?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always, chatting up camera or looking at the new gizmos and new devices and all the different equipment that's been designed and they're trying out. Yeah, I don't know. I find it fascinating with cinematography for sure, but also I love to tinker with mechanics. I have a big interest in how the mechanisms and how things work. So that's part of the interest as well. But um, I feel like a lot of times I'm drawn to jobs based on their locations and their landscapes. I love being outdoors. I love being in the woods and in the desert and in these different, foreign places because I don't get to get out there to those places. So getting a job in such a great landscape or such a great location makes it not feel like a job, makes it feel like a vacation.
Do you see yourself sort of moving behind the camera and not just direct, but also photograph the film as well?
No, I mean, yes, I that would be a dream to me, but the cinematographers that are out there and some of the stuff they're shooting is so incredible and so beautiful that I really would lean on there's a lot of cinematographers if I was to direct something that I want to work with based on their work. And so like writing, there's better people out there, so I enjoy it as a hobby. But as far as being held to it, no, there's way too many cinematographers for me to work with for me to be able to be shooting. I'd operate, I guess, but not necessarily direct the photography.
But then finally, we've taken a question from one of our readers, or actually not one, but quite a lot of our readers have asked about this. And it's about your name, Scoot. Where did it came from? What's the history of that?
My
I see
dad
your
called me that when I was a kid, Scooter. My mom called me John. That's my birth name. When I went to a new school, probably around, I don't know, fifth, sixth, seventh grade, um, I went by Scoot, and so it was a new school, so everyone knew me there as Scoot, and that is a nickname that has just carried on, and um, I respond to both. I'll be honest with you. Some people call me John from my past. Some people call me Scoot. The doctor calls me John. So it doesn't really have a great story around it. Yes, I did scoot around on my butt as a kid, but I don't know that that's related to my father nicknaming me as Scoot.
Well, thanks for your time, Scoot. I know it as we speak, the fires have been going on in California, and I understand that you've been personally hit by it. I'm very, very sorry to hear that. The one thing that always kind of does occur to me is, in light of, California being on a fault and these fires, why does anyone live in California these days?
I don't know, but what I think is if you're chasing the sunset, this is the last place that you get to before you can't chase it anymore. And so it is a hodgepodge of people just following into the sun. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place with incredible weather, incredible people, resilient people, and also people that have a common interest and people that are like-minded. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I moved out here, it was such a relief to find a community of people that are interested in the same ideas and interested in certain things to talk about and whatnot, that I think that that's what keeps people coming here.
Well, as I'm very sorry to hear about, what yourself and so many people are going through. I mean, if there's one positive point, at least you weren't around when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry visited.
Yeah, I did see that they were over in Altadena the previous. I was there the previous day from them, but I don't follow much of the politics of that, so I wouldn't be able to comment.
Okay, well, thanks for your time, Scoot. Blood for Dust, really enjoyable a film, a thriller, and I'd be intrigued about a sequel if they ever made one.
Hey, thanks so much, Simon. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Scoot. Thank you.
All right.